All right, I see the message that it started. So good morning again, everybody. I'm calling this meeting of the Public Safety Communications Task Force to order. It's 11:15 on March 12th, 2025, and I'm Barbara Neal. As a reminder, the meeting is being recorded, and that recording will be posted to the task force webpage following the meeting. We'll go to our roll call now. If you could verbally acknowledge your presence when I call your name. Jen Morrison,
I'm here.
Paul White,
I am here.
okay, Michael Wright,
I am here. Morning.
morning. Ron Kumetz,
I am here. Morning.
morning. Jim Mack,
Here.
good morning. I do not see Mike Dungis on the call just yet. Maybe he'll join in a bit. Also joining us today is Emily Mullaney as our administrative support. And we have, looks like Rick and Dom, both from Televate, are on the call.
Morning.
Good morning. And then from Mission Critical, we have Jason Malloy, Scott Neal, and Phil Sisk.
Good morning.
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 I do not see any members of the public on the call. So we will move right on to approval of the agenda. The agenda was distributed to task force members by email. It's also available on the website. Any changes to the agenda? Hearing nothing, we'll consider the agenda approved and move on to approval of the minutes. These would be from the February 26th meeting, regular meeting number 45. Any changes needed for these minutes? Or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Jim. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes from February 26th, raise your hand or indicate by saying aye. Hands up.
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, got it. The minutes are approved. Looks like we'll have no public comment today. Just checking again to make sure nobody joined us late. I don't see anyone. Okay, we'll move on to project updates then. Dom, let's start with you.
All right, thanks, Barb, and good morning, everyone. We've been, of course, quite busy these last couple of weeks since our last meeting. The primary activity has been finalizing the public version of the draft system plan report, which MCP has done. Thank them for those efforts, and that was released or identified, posted to the task force website a little over a week ago or so, as well as with a cover letter from Jen and Barb preceding that. So that's been the major activity. We've provided comments. Of course, the comments were provided to the first draft. Those were incorporated. There were some limited comments provided to the second draft before it was adjusted somewhat for public comment, and that is where we are now. There are some additional outstanding comments that I know MCP is working on, and we also anticipate receiving comments from our review sessions and potentially others from the public. The task force website has been updated to obviously provide a link to the document, the redacted version, as well as to provide a link for comments and also for registering for the upcoming sessions. We have scheduled 3 review sessions with the stakeholder community, including public safety practitioners, legislators, town officials, etc. The first one was held this morning at 8 a.m. It was scheduled for 90 minutes. We went a little bit long. The other 2, of course, are scheduled for 90 minutes as well. There's one tomorrow in the evening, and then Friday around midday. We have sent out selection of the task force members to attend those meetings. All task force members should have that. That was sent out earlier this week. And please go to the website and register for those events that you plan to attend. Or there are also, I believe Jason has sent links to each of those sessions as well. So everyone should have those. Also, we have public listening sessions, or public comment sessions scheduled for next week. There's 2 of those, one on the 18th and one on the 20th. And is Jason on? Jason, can you confirm? I believe as of Monday, the link and landing page for those had not yet been posted. I believe those are in place now. Is that correct?
Yes, all of the links were forwarded to Emily last week, and she had staff add those to the task force website.
Great, thanks. And also, we have scheduled the funding/finance workshop for next week. That's Monday, the 17th, from 1 to 3. That will be at DPS offices in Waterbury. So that is an in-person event. That there will be a link available also for some people to attend remotely if they like. We had assigned task force members to attend that. Barb, you have expressed a desire to attend that. Right now, you weren't on the list for that.
Right.
So some discussion here if you'd like to attend. I think Jim, I believe you were one that was identified. So
Yeah.
would you mind giving up your spot to Barb for that? Right now, we also have Jen and Mike Dunges planning to attend. So
Let's confirm
obviously,
that Mike Dongis is really going to be there.
That's a
Uh,
good
I
point.
mean, I
Yeah.
really want
did-
him there because of his perspective as a mayor, but
he did
if he's-
confirm via email yesterday that he was
Okay.
planning to attend.
okay. Jim, can we keep you on the bench until we get a little closer?
All right, appreciate that.
Great. Thank you, Jim.
All right, and I believe those are the major activities we have. One more. I know the inventory and assessment report has been going through review for redaction. I don't believe that has been released for public consumption yet. Jen, do you have an update on that? How is your team coming with that?
It's not going to be done this week. It might be
Okay.
done next week, but it's in process.
Great, thank you. That's all I have, Barb.
Okay. Great. Jason, do you have anything from the mission critical perspective, or did Dom cover it all?
Dom pretty much covered it. I know we had asked on the Monday meeting about getting the public comment in some fashion as it comes in. Obviously, we don't want every comment to be emailed every second of every day. That would certainly be an onerous task on the task force or Emily or another member of state staff. So if there's some way we can figure out whether it's every few days or such, we want to make best use of everyone's time and not have to try to cram a large amount of comments into a short amount of time. So if there are comments that are coming in that we can start working on in advance, especially if it's anything that we need to have discussion with the task force about before we change, that would give us plenty of time, or give us more time rather, to make those changes. As far as the priority 1 and priority 2 comments that were provided back, I believe week before last by the task force members, as you saw, the priority 1 comments were addressed prior to the document coming to you for the public release. We have at this point addressed almost all of the remaining priority 2 comments. There are maybe 5 or 6 that are directly tied to the discussions that are come out of the funding workshop on Monday. So of course, we've not been able to address those as of yet. However, once we do have the funding workshops and we go forward with that information, then we will be able to further address some of those. And then beyond that, there are maybe 4 or 5 left out of the entire group that we are working on internally to clarify and get those taken care of. And that's my update.
Great. Thank you.
Just-
As far as, go ahead, Dom.
Jason, if I could add, I am monitoring the website, the task force, and the task force email address, and I will forward on comments as they come in. I have one right now that needs to be reviewed, but they haven't started coming in at any great clip yet. So just starting to come in.
Okay. And like I said, I don't expect every time an email comes that you forward every single one individually. So if maybe, if once they start coming in any great frequency, if you want to attach them as individual Outlook messages to a single message, every day or every other day, or, something that works for you guys, that would be sufficient. And then that'll allow us to track them, as well as make sure that we add those to a stakeholder review sheet as the task force has done with their comments. That way we can make sure that we are tracking those and we can show the author response comments as we've done for all of the task force comments to date. But thank you,
Sounds good.
appreciate that.
May I contribute before moving on?
Yes.
So after today's workshop, we had a debrief for briefly, myself and Bonnie and Jason, and one of the recommendations was to extend these meetings to 2 hours. We didn't accomplish all that we needed to in 90 minutes, and we talked about how we might be able to reduce the time, but one of the topics of conversation was, the suggestion to expand these workshops now to a 2-hour instead of a 90-minute. I just wanted to share that with you as, we could discuss it now or we have a meeting later today. So either way, just wanted to put it on the table.
Okay. I don't object to that.
Let's take it up at the 2 o'clock meeting or whatever time it is, whatever time our meeting is, 3 o'clock.
Okay. That worked. How many people were there on the town hall this morning?
28
saw-
with us, so maybe like
Go ahead.
20. Like
I
20.
think at the height, including task force, Televate, and MCP, I believe it was 28 total.
28, yeah.
So roughly, Jen's assessment would be correct. Roughly about 20 participants.
And other than the time, observation that you needed more time, was it good dialogue, good feedback, or how did it go?
From our perspective, Barb, we felt it was definitely very good feedback. We took we have several takeaways, for updates, immediate updates that we can start working on. The one thing that we heard, and this is certainly no fault of the state or no fault of the task force, some folks felt that they did not have enough time to review that document. But again, that's, their internal distribution methods and so on and so forth. So that's certainly not anything that's on the state or the task force. However, those folks were reminded by Dom and by Bonnie both a couple of times that they do have through March 28th to review that document and to provide that public feedback through the website or the other various means that are out there. Dom, I don't know if you or Rick have a different take.
No, I think that's accurate. We definitely got some good feedback, and there were a number of takeaways. There was some skepticism as to how feasible, which was understandable, but still concerning. But other than that, good feedback and positive comments about the report.
Are any of these sessions recorded?
Yes, yeah, they will be recorded.
Okay, so they'll be posted to the website?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
So I guess that Barb and Jen, I guess the question there, do you want me to provide those recordings each day? Do you wish to have them sent as a single group? That way whoever is updating the landing page for the state doesn't have to go make multiple different updates. How would you like to receive those?
It probably size wise, you probably have to do them one at a time anyway, so you might as well send them on the daily to Emily.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that idea too. And then people can watch them. It's a little bit closer to a real time discussion that way, rather than waiting for them all to be done.
So, okay, so we're still in updates, right?
Yes.
Barb, we're
Yes.
still in updates.
Yes, we are.
Did we
Yes.
want to circle back to public comment, since I see that Senator Renner has joined and I don't know if anyone else is on?
We can do that now, sure. So I do see Irene Renner, welcome. Would you like to share any comment with us today?
Thank you, Nell. I'm just sorry that I was late, missed a couple of minutes of it, but I do appreciate the opportunity to listen. Thank you.
Okay, great. And there looks to be one other member of the public on the line. I'll offer you an opportunity for comment. We're not hearing you. Okay, I'm going to assume there's no comments to be offered at this point. So, okay, so back into updates. We talked about the document, how we're going to get the feedback back and forth to Mission Critical. We talked about this morning's town hall and extending to 2 hours. So I think unless there's nothing more on that piece, we can move on to the funding discussion.
Well, if I can add, just as a reminder, Barb, so our next review session is tomorrow at 6 p.m. And from the task force, we have assignments to participate for Barb, Ron, and Michael. And then
Which Michael? Which Michael?
Michael Wright.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, another question?
No, sorry, I was just saying, okay.
Oh, and also this week on Friday, we have the session at 12, and scheduled for that is Barb again, Paul, and Ron. Ron, I think you indicated you were maybe on that date. Are you going to be able to attend, or do you need to look at someone else?
On Friday, I have to see if the appointment that I had Friday morning still exists. I can get back to you about that later today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and is that schedule working, Michael, for you for tomorrow evening? 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, and Paul, Friday works for you still?
At noon, yes.
Yep, okay. Okay,
Thanks.
Yes, thank you. All right. Funding discussion is next on the list. So we do have, as Dom mentioned, the funding workshop planned for March 17th in Waterbury or via Teams. Also, Rick and Dom, could you talk about, you have done some funding model work in other states that you mentioned to me and Jen, and that you would be able to do similar work for us here in Vermont to kind of get some options on the table. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you're looking to pull together for us?
Yeah, I can address it. Prior to us receiving the input from Bonnie and Jason on their slides like yesterday, we had done some background. We're doing some background research on on comparison of, say, 911 fees that the state of Vermont charges versus others. We have done a number of modeling for a variety of projects over our history to give guidance on this, and we're doing some of that background research, and as directed by Barb and Jen. I mean, it won't be complete, but we'll have some data to share before the end of the week, where we're comparing a couple of items that could generate additional revenues, and it'll be kind of a compare and contrast to what other states have done, and to look at some of the fees and taxes, and more excise tax is really where the options come in. Other jurisdictions are doing temporary sales tax to generate revenue. So we're just going to share some of our findings and possible options that could be shared with the team. Bonnie and Jason, the draft presentation that Bonnie delivered yesterday has a lot of detail and a lot of question asking and summarizing of what various opportunities there are to generate revenue, and so we're going to provide more detail on some of those and share it with the team before the end of this week.
Great.
Can I chime in on the topic of funding?
Sure.
We became aware after scheduling the funding workshop that the particular day we picked a long time ago happens to be a day where House and Senate appropriations committees are meeting together, so that the people who are currently serving in the legislature who might have real interest in this area are not available at the time that we've designated. And so we need to contemplate how we get the input of as many of those people as possible without reconvening another 2-hour large group meeting. Particularly last night, Representative Harrison reached out, and I know that there's others from Senate and House that we want to talk to. So I'm wondering if the group has thoughts on how we can get feedback from these folks who are in the crucible right now of the session and racing up to crossover, in a manner that is timely enough to help inform the next draft of the report. And Senator Renner, I would welcome you to weigh in here, because you probably know from the inside of the Puzzle Palace how we might go about that.
If I may start, I think we should take the same approach we did to this first round, to go back to those key legislative members of those committees, and to offer them an opportunity to get together, whether it be virtually or in person. But I think because they're so key, their groups, their committees are so key to funding, the research required on funding, that why not hold another round, virtually or in person? Alternatively, or in conjunction, we could meet with them individually. I think there's a benefit in having a group, but we could do a combination of both.
I'm hoping that, given the workshop that we'll have on Monday, and there's a lot of good discussion in the proposed slide deck that the MCP has provided. Hopefully, we can do some narrowing down of potential options in the meeting on Monday, and then any subsequent meetings that we might have, as Rick suggested, maybe could be a little more targeted.
Okay. I think that we're probably going to have to go for a maybe a twosies and threesies types meeting if I can get some people, from that list to commit to the same time. But it's going to require some, some creativity on scheduling. So we'll continue to chip away at that, and I'll have to get with someone from Televate and someone from MCP. It doesn't have to be the whole gang, and perhaps we can really bore in on times and dates that are available so I can offer those up.
Okay.
I mean, if we could come up with 2 or 3 windows, to make ourselves available, hopefully that would fit into most of the schedules we're trying to fit into.
Well, I mean, I thought we were doing it right by doing it on a Monday, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Well, it's a busy time for sure. So, okay. Well, it sounds like we'll stay tuned and see how that works itself out. Okay. Anything else on funding, the funding discussion? Nope. Okay. Does anybody have any new business for today? Okay. We will then confirm the next meeting date, which is 2 weeks from today. Don't forget about all the town halls in between, though. So we'll meet again for a regular meeting on March 26th. And unless there's something else, we can have a motion to adjourn.
Barb, can I just say like a little cheerleading plug here?
Sure.
We're in a really important time. We've been meeting for almost 1 year and 3/4, and it's been a lot of work for everyone. But this is a really important time, and showing up matters. Like if you're assigned to a session, show up, please, or get somebody to cover for you. We have to be leaning into what people are saying and the feedback we're getting about this report. And it's just really, I just want to cheerlead everyone to say, come on, we're in a bit of a hustle right now, but we got to do it. We've put in the work up to this point, and this is kind of game day. So let's lean in. That's all. I just wanted to give a plug.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Great. Thank you. Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you,
I'll
Jim.
second that motion.
All right. All in favor of adjourning for today, raise your hand or signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I see the hands are up, the ayes are in, and we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you along the way and see you
Thank
again
you.
in a couple weeks all together. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.